Greetings, Patrick here. Wow, I did not realize that. I thought I made a room for today, but then I had to back out of it, and I thought that it wasn't created until I looked, and I said, "Oh, did you know that you left your lights on? You left those lights on." So yeah, we're here. It's only a little almost 10. It's still relatively early, especially for those on the West Coast. So I thought I'd just come out here and do open phone, open air. If anybody wants to come up and say hi, I'll send you the link. And I see Lady Valerie has stopped by. Um, yeah, I this tells you something about our guest last night. We talked to Jeremiah, film director Jeremiah Kipp, for yesterday on Eight Questions with. I was so engrossed in that conversation and such a great guy to talk to. Um, I didn't even realize that football had started. I thought it started today. I thought all the games started today, Friday. I did not realize that while me and Jeremiah were talking, that football has started. Um, and lo and behold, um, well, it's preseason, so it doesn't mean squat. But wow, I'm just like we got 28 points yesterday. I'm just like, how did that happen? Um, you know, does anybody have one of those obsession boxes or something and making a wish or something? Like, I wish the Steelers would score 28 points in any game. So as you know, we love football here. Our good friend Kenny Sledge, he loves the Lions. Our good friend Hobbs from Hobbs Horror, he's a big Bengal fan. Who Dey. Lady Valerie is a diehard Packer fan. The Care Bear loves the Bills. Uh, Katie loves the Dolphins. So there's a few people. Matt Fulci, Fasci, he likes the Broncos. Uh, we both dig the. This is the really cool thing about the games being here again, is that we get to watch the Super Bear fan, and Super Bengal girl fan, Sammy Riggs. They'll be singing songs after every game, so that will be a true treat. Of course, we have Pittsburgh Dad, who Pittsburgh Dad, man, that guy. If the Steelers had actually won more, like won a few more Super Bowls, I think he probably would have been on national TV by now, like running a series or something. But um, I know where I still got a couple of Fire Mike Tomlins still stuck in my throat. I'm sure they're going to be there for a while. It takes a while to get rid of that after he gets, after the coach you hate gets the hook. Um, yeah, come on, fire Aaron Boone. I can't really say that this year though. I really can't. It just pisses me off that I can't. It's not Aaron Boone, man. It's not him swinging the lumber at the plate. That guy has been trying everything to make it work today for the Yankees this year. They cannot just buy a run. They just can't do it. I mean, uh, anyway, let me stick this out here for a share and see if there's anybody that wants to come up there and hang out. I'm gonna put a few. Hey, Russell. I'm gonna go ahead and put a few names and channels out there, and then see if we can get some people some heads. Let's see. All right. How goes it, Russell? How goes it? It's gonna be a long week for us because we don't have no Michael shows not on this Friday this weekend. That's gonna be a long week for us. Cheetah is doing in great shape. I still got to go get his toenails cut. That's the big thing right now. Um, he seems to be doing really, really well. Uh, no pain, no nothing. But his toenails definitely need to be cut. Um, so that I got to figure out. I got to figure that out. Maybe take him to a groomer. Um, I know they have a device where you can put your dog, small dog or a cat. You put them in the small device and then you hang them so their feet that are not on the ground, all their weight is, basically, the weight is all their weight is support is being supported by the holder, but they can't grab anything. And I'm just thinking that should probably be a really easy thing to do for him. Either that or they could put a cone on him. They could put a cone on him and then clip his nails. So they could do that. All right. All right. So let's see what we're going to do about putting some heads up here. Um, we'll put. I know, right? I'm bummed out. I'm bummed out. All right. So obviously we're gonna have to. Obviously we got to push out Lady Valerie. Hi, Sue. Okay, that's not what I really wanted to do, was it? Oh, wait a minute. Okay. All right. So yeah, so here's Lady Valerie's. So of course you guys heard about the new YouTube. I guess they're going in next year. They're basically are doubling. They're basically doubling what it takes to get monetized, um, which is really I don't get it. I mean, even people who are monetized today, there's not a lot of them out there that are, hanging out with, 10, 12 million subscribers. But, all right, let's see if I can. All right, so there's Lady Valerie's channel. Sue, you could drop your channel at any time that you come in and see me do one of these. Feel free to do that. Uh, let's see. Let's get who else should we get? There's a few people we're gonna get. Yeah, let's go grab Kenny. Man, I did not realize. I don't know why, but I thought Kenny had a lot more subscribers than I realized. I did not realize he didn't have that many. Um, so yeah, we're gonna go out there and show him some love here. Um, okay. Um, so here is oh, are you just watching it or are you covering you should cover a couple episodes, Russell. I mean on camera. Just do it just tape yourself. You don't need to do a live stream. Right now I am currently watching the fourth season of Psych. That show is funny as hell. That show is crazily funny. Or third season. I'm watching the third season of Psych. That show is crazy. All right, so we got Kenny's channel in here. We got Lady Valerie's in here. Let's see. Psych is really that show is funny as hell. I I'm so glad they were able to maintain that throughout the whole series. You know, they didn't try to get serious or anything like that. That show is hilarious. The episode I saw in season three, or no, season three, where they're like back in the 70s. Oh God, I thought I was going to lose my lunch. I was laughing so hard at that. They have some very creative people. Yeah, they did 8 seasons, I think, plus three TV movies. They were supposed to do six, but I think they only did three. But they just got done. Um, one of the guys from that show, one of the creators, has come back to NBC Universal and has a new show idea. Um, Sherlock Holmes' secretary, and this is based off a true story. Um, I guess it even still, if I think it even still happens up to today. So a lot of people, it's like Santa Claus or any other fictional character, but a lot of people write to Sherlock Holmes at 221 Baker Street. They write to him. And there is a lady whose job it is to answer the letters that she gets as much as she's able to. So people write to Sherlock Holmes, and this lady answers them back. And so the theory of the show is the lady who does the answering back is now going to go on and take on a few of those cases. She's going to start investigating a few of those cases. Hey, Tony, no word on job yet. Yeah, I know it's tough out there, buddy. So that's going to be the hook for this new show. Um, that'll probably be, that if it happens, it won't happen until next year. But USA has seems to be coming back with a USA seems network seems to be coming back with scripted series that got away from it for a while. They were doing a lot of reruns, a lot of sports, but they've actually gone back to scripted shows. And the one they premiered this week is called Anna Pigeon, and USA Network had the best ratings for any new show or returning show. It's the highest in over 8 years. So people want to see good scripted TV. That's what it tells me. And with them being on a cable network, they're able to, of course, be a little bit more salty. So that helps. All right. So who else do we got here? Let's go up there. So we got Lady Valerie. We got Kenny. Let's go with Jen. Let's go with Jen. We'll do the Wonder Twins. Where the Wonder Twins at? Oh. Let's see. Who else can we get? Uh, oh. Trying to think what else we can. Oh, let's do movies. I think he's really under power too, right? Yeah. So we're gonna throw him up here too. All right. Let's see. Hey, thanks. We're gonna go ahead and feel free to jump in there. Let's see. Are you a new channel? Let me see. Let me zip on over to say hi. Wow. Let's see. Okay. That is a weird channel name. That's for sure. Yeah, I just looked at your channel. You still haven't made any content yet. You got to jump in here, man. Both of you jump in with both feet. All right. So anybody that I throw up here, you most likely will not be subscribed to. If you wanted to go over there and say hi to these folks, here's Dale's channel, Dale on Movies. Here's his channel. We could jump on over there and yeah. And I even think that Corey is underrepresented, upper represented for his channel. Uh, let's let's do the professor. I could do that. Let's do the professor. Yeah, the professor's under rep too. Man, I really did not realize that until I don't know what it was, but a lot of these channels, I just freaking assumed that they were just powerful, like between 1,000 to 3,000 people. I did not realize so many of us are fighting tooth and nail and putting out great content. And yeah, so that's what we're doing, man. We're throwing this up here today. You guys want to go ahead and jump in because I mean, let's put it this way: a lot of you guys have not subbed to these people because they don't have very big numbers. So yeah, so I'm throwing out some channels out here, and yeah. Russell, I'm gonna need your. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make you a mod so you could actually share. So you could share channels in here. I know you do that. You and Jerry do that over for Michael, so I'm gonna do that for you here. That way you could share some. You can share some good pages, good channels. So that would be really helpful. So we'll try to make them anybody under 1,000. Russell, if you know anybody underneath 1,000 subs, yeah, just toss them out there, and we'll just try to pump them up the best we can. So I'm gonna put the professor out here. Uh, man, that guy had himself a week, man. If you're a collector, it's funny. I'm sitting here watching. I'm watching Ken from Mid Level Media. Always so much fun to listen to him. Always a good time. And man, I just see all these guys just talking all this money, just crazy money. I guess Warner Brothers is putting out a 4 box set on 4K or something like that. They're charging like $180 for it or something like that. And all I could hear in my head was I could hear the professor just laughing maniacally. Uh, he doesn't believe in that paying the big money. I don't either. I oops, let me put that right. All right, all right. There's a there's the professor right there. So we got a few heads in here. Of course, we'll have some more people want to come in. They're interested if they're interested in sharing or connecting or what have you, by all means. Yeah. So I guess yesterday, this is an interesting thing that happened to me this week. So I have a series called Dollar Theater, the Voters Edition. So here we go, right? So basically what I do is I put up 4 movies up there and you guys vote. And you guys can see that in my community tab. Actually, you guys, this is like a record I've had for this week. I've had over 40 people vote on it, and I was like, "Holy crow! All right, I'm down with that." Um, and so I put 4 movies out there. You guys vote, and then me and the Cheetah we review it. So I went ahead and I grabbed this 4 pack that I got from the library a couple of weeks ago, and it's an action adventure pack. And I thought initially, because I was looking for some laughs, I thought initially at first it was all 4 Steven Seagal movies. They're going to do 4 Seagal movies. So I said, I'm going to put that up there and see what kind of comments I get, because I'm sure I'll get a few. But when I went to do that, I realized that they're not 4 Seagal movies like I thought. There's only 2. And there's 2 other movies. One called The Russian Specialist with Dolph Lundgren and Ben Cross, Oscar winner Ben Cross, or at least nominated. And then we had one called Conspiracy, starring Val Kilmer, Jennifer Esposito, and Gary Cole. Okay, I'm thinking there's no way. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't know anything about the Val Kilmer movie. I know a lot of people here are big Dolph Lundgren fans. So I thought Dolph Lundgren was going to win the week. In fact, I had already watched that movie, and I even said that I've seen that movie before, and it's pretty good. It's pretty for act if you're into action and adventure. Um, the Russian Specialist is pretty good. Uh, but no, Conspiracy won the week, and I'm just like, okay. I knew it was a Val Kilmer movie, but I thought it was going to be one of those movies where they use his name on the box, like to sell it. Um, it wasn't until I grabbed the package and I opened it up that I realized that Conspiracy was actually directed by Adam Marcus. I knew it, and this is the movie that he had told this, he had shared the story with about having a really hard time making the movie because of Val Kilmer's behavior. He was extremely unprofessional, extremely, and it caused it caused Adam a lot of trauma. And I've talked to Adam 3 times. Um, I never asked him the movie. I heard the story about Val Kilmer. I had heard about it, but when I talked to him, I never asked him about it. Because we were talking about other things, and he was talking about Val, but I don't think I went into any detail. I mean, maybe I did ask it, but I don't remember any details. I didn't even realize what I had. I didn't know that Conspiracy was the movie until I looked in the back of it. I'm like, oh wow, okay. So, but that was the movie that everybody picked for a winner. So I said, okay, we're gonna watch Conspiracy. Man, I gotta tell you, that is one of the most frustrating watches I've done in a long time. It was a really good movie. It was good. Um, I was talking to somebody else about, like we're talking about Val Kilmer movies, and he said that Val Kilmer, his career ended basically with Tombstone. Well, I disagree with that. I've seen him in several different roles that he's actually been okay in. One movie he did, one movie he did was really good and it was called Spartan. That movie is balls out crazy. It's good, really good. So anyway, but I go back to Conspiracy and watching Conspiracy, and it's a good movie. And I'm just sitting perplexed. I'm trying to imagine. I'm trying to imagine what could have set Val Kilmer off to where he had a complete fucking professional meltdown. I'm just trying to get over it. I'm trying to figure it out. Like, why? I mean, what was the problem? I mean, what was the problem with the? I mean, you saw the script beforehand. You met the director beforehand. Everything was already set in place. You couldn't mention co-stars. I just couldn't figure out for the life of me why he decided of all the movies to shit on, he decided that he was going to try to sabotage this one. It was a good story. It's that story could be right here today, right here today. Adam and Deborah wrote a script that wow, the movie came out in 2008. I'm sure they probably wrote it before, they filmed it in 2007 or before that because the movie came in 2008. They wrote the script. It's still relevant today, even more so when it was released, even more so. Basically, this movie could have been a classic. It really could have been a classic. I'm not saying that because I've talked to Adam and and I'm not saying that. I'm saying as a movie fan, this and especially the script, it was very very strong, and you got two really good co-stars there too. You had Gary Cole, who's a sensational actor, and you had the lovely Jennifer Esposito, who has had her own troubles with Hollywood, well known, and she's a lovely actress as well. That movie was kick ass. It has some homage to some other films, notably Spencer Tracy in The Incident at Black Rock, which I really enjoyed. That I thought that was a tremendous a homage, and I was just perplexed. I just couldn't understand what had happened. It's a good movie. So I watched that this week, and I reviewed it, and it's on my channel. You guys can check that out. And I pinged Adam. I told him, I said, "Man, this is fantastic. This is a really good movie." And it wasn't like Val's acting was really bad. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't the best. I'm sure he didn't have a whole lot of dialogue in there. I think that's part of his, I don't know, reason why. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, he came across more like John Wick in terms of dialogue than anything else, not very many things to say, but his action and his role and it was great. It's perfect. Uh, so, so I go ahead and I send that out. And then the next day, I see Adam writing about uh, Friday the 13th, Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. And I think yesterday was the 33rd anniversary. I think it was the 33rd anniversary of that movie coming out. Um, and as you know, those are Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X are my two favorite Friday the 13th films. They're not the best, but they are my favorite. I mean, those are the ones I like. I like those two very, very much. Um, but he wrote about how what are you doing? Michael? Uh, hey, thank you, thank you. Um, So he mentions that it's he writes about how. I mean, remember too, you guys got to remember Adam Marcus. I have to keep saying this to people who hate on this movie blindly. Is He's only 22 years old. He's got all that weight on him. Got a franchise, a lot of weight on it on a young director, a lot of weight, and so he gets in there and he does the best he can. Comes out with a very entertaining movie. Has some great characters, memorable kills. And he says that how the ball that rolled that got Jason Goes to Hell all of its hate. The guy, the guy who he wrote about it, and it sparked it. First it was nothing, and then this one guy went out there and ripped the hell out of it, and then more and more people saw that, and the next thing you know, they're ripping the hell out of it, and before you know it, Jason Goes to Hell is the most hated entry in the franchise. And again, it's like, wow, it's like, I mean, I've seen some of the people in here talk about it, and it's like, wow. I mean, and you guys think you think I'm tough on Hereditary? Shit, I'm a choir boy compared to some of these people who ran on Jason Goes to Hell. I'm a choir boy. I'm a saint. Um, but caused them for a long time. It caused a lot of heat, for Adam. I mean, it was fucked up. It's hard too trying to get work. Think about this. Trying to get work. And the executive director, you go in there to the studio and you want to audition, or interview for a movie, and the first thing they're going to do is say, you did that, you did Jason Goes to Hell, and yes, and it's like, okay, it made money, but the support, if I attach your name as a director to my movie with your reputation on Friday the 13th, Jason Goes to Hell, what's going to happen to my movie? It's a legitimate concern, and then the executive would be in his right to ask that. Like, how are we gonna overcome this? I mean, I'm gonna trust you with $20 million, $30 million. I want a fighting chance of getting that money back. And yes, we have seen movies that have been totally destroyed by people's not liking them as director. I could think of one director right now that, for the love of God, that guy could not. He could be the last. He could be the last person on earth. Film, film himself, film himself walking the empty streets, and people will still come from the dead just to criticize him for that. And that's Rennie Harlin. Now, Rennie Harlin has continued to make films, but he never gets any respect at all. None. Every time he comes out with a movie, it's DOA already. It's already dead on arrival. And he hasn't done anything. He just got done making a movie. No one knows what it's about, but people will get out there and they'll start ripping on it right away. Um, Hell, I think the director right now who's going to face that when he if he ever dares to go behind the camera again, which I don't really think he is. He said he's going to make his 10th and final movie. I don't think so, especially now, because he wants to guard his legacy, even though it's taken several hits. But I don't see Quentin Tarantino ever directing again. I just don't. I think after what he did to some of his fellow peers, his actors, some of the people are people actually realizing, they actually listening to some of the scripts that he's written, and they're really like, wow, how did the hell did I ever how did how why did I clap on that? That's a really good question, because he is a profane man. He's profane as hell. I mean, talking next to, it's just actually sitting down and talking to him. I swear, I bet you about 85% of the words that he speaks would be curse words. I don't know that guy could. I don't know if he could hold a conversation a normal conversation in a church. I'd be a true test. Can you walk in and talk for an hour in a church without dropping the curse words? And he thrives on it. Um, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think fans are going to like Quentin Tarantino nearly as much as they have. I think if he tried to do a movie out today, I think that he would just get ripped. I think he'd get ridiculed. He's not doing the Cliff Booth movie. That's different. I think he's producing it, but he's not directing it. And I don't think I don't know. I'm not even sure if he even wrote it. I can't imagine him writing anything and letting somebody else direct his words. I just don't think. I don't think his ego will let him do that. But Rennie Harlan is, one example of that, where whatever movie he puts out is immediately attacked. So back to Adam Marcus, he's trying to get jobs. Sure he did. And him and his wife, Deborah, I am dead certain that if we went over to his house and he showed us his writing room, his office, I am sure there'd be a stack of screenplays like this high. I mean, I'm positive of that he's got all these stories in his head, but getting in his head and getting it to the screen are two different animals. So when all this hatred came out for Jason Goes to Hell, that affected his livelihood as well as his self confidence. So so that really sucks. And and so lo and behold, Adam mentions how he tells how hurtful it is, how damaging it is. And then he's at a convention, and this guy walks up to him, and he's really quietly, and Adam had called him a douche nozzle in print. And he walked up to Adam. He says, I'm the guy who wrote the letter. I'm the douche nozzle. And the guy was really quiet. Exactly probably what you imagine. Really quiet guy. One of those keyboard warriors down there in the mom's basement, going like, "Oh, this movie sucks." One of those types. But he goes up to Adam, and he says, "I'm the one that did that." And he's not saying it for Brett. He's ashamed. He's like, "I'm really sorry. I watched the movie before I came here. I really am sorry." He apologized to Adam for what he did. I mean, and Adam, being Adam Marcus as we know him, he forgave him. That's really all he wanted. He only wanted that. He wasn't going to go after somebody's head or anything else like that. And him and the guy end up talking for a little bit. And Adam will talk to anybody. He's the most friendliest guy, and he's full of passion. So he talks to the guy who basically made his life a living hell for many, many years. Adam just mentioned he mentioned that for the first out of the first 33 years the movie came out, like the first maybe 20 were really rough. Really rough. Over and over and over, people were saying how bad the movie was. But he's mentioned like the last 13 years or so, that quietly it has really built up really nicely. The fans have come around to the movie, and to those fans, I say, what the hell took you so long? Believe me, that is not. God, there's what three. I mean, there's what three other movies I can think of in the franchise that just sucked worse. That were much, not worse, but they just sucked. Jason Goes to Hell is iconic. It connects the Jason universe to the Deadites universe. People forget that. Ash. I mean, if they had ever done Ash versus Michael versus Freddy, or Jason versus Freddy versus Ash, that would have been because of Jason Goes to Hell. Think about that. That if we would have got that dream battle If we would have got that dream battle, Jason Goes to Hell is the genesis of that. We get that because of that, because Sam Raimi helped Adam establish the Deadite universe. People don't talk about that shit. They just don't talk about it. They don't. I don't know why. It's like, wow, could you just imagine? Um, the fact that we did get Jason versus Freddy again established it at the end of the movie when we see Freddy's hand grab his hockey mask. Iconic moment. I remember the theater where I was watching that movie, and the place went crazy. It went crazy. Fans were just like, they were stoked. They go, oh hell yes! And then we had to go through Jason X, I believe, before we got it. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Jason X is a very fun movie, and one of my, like I said, it's my second favorite, and definitely has my favorite Final Girls. I I I know there's a lot of Final Girl worthy girls that Jason Goes to Hell. Denise Michaels and Aaron Gray. I mean, they're very worthy, but come on, Alexa Doig and Lisa Ryder. those two girls were just on fire and on fire for that. Yeah, two of my favorites. Um, but uh, but the fans have been coming back. They have been supporting him. Um, and if you really think about it, and maybe it was just a slow news cycle or what have you, but when they were talking about Val Kilmer's anniversary of his death, and Adam said fuck that and him too, there really wasn't as much harshness as one would expect. That was a little telling for me. Like I just thought, wow, holy crap! I mean, you just brought the whole mountain down on you, but it was more like a small landslide than it was the mountain. I mean, a lot of people were going like, now that he's dead, now they can actually come out there and say, I had a encounter with Val Kilmer. It wasn't always a pleasant one, and now these people come out there with their stories. Now, whether they're true or not, that's, totally up in the air. But people felt like they could come out there and speak their piece. And a lot of it has to do with Adam Marcus. He's like, he may be dead, but the damage that he did still remains. That hasn't gone away. So he has every right to speak his piece on it. I'm never going to be the one to sit there and say, tell a man like, man, you shouldn't do that. Hell no, he has every right to pop off, and more power to him. And just very disappointing, to find out that happened. And I'm sure it wasn't the only one. I'm sure it wasn't the only time it did. I mean, I can't imagine, a whole career and just having one meltdown. In fact, we know that's not the case because Richard Stanley told us about that when he was going to be doing The Island of Dr. Moreau with Val Kilmer and Marlon Brando. So, yeah. So we definitely know that Val Kilmer was no saint. He might have played a saint, but he was no saint. All right. I was checking out. I was checking out. I was going to check out. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this link down here for you guys. I put it in my community tab if you guys want to go check it out. But our good friend Movie Tramp 5900, he is a old west guy. He loves old westerns, and he reviews them a lot. And he dropped a new review on Randolph Scott, The Man in the Saddle. I haven't seen that movie since I was a kid, but I do remember it. I don't know why. How do I remember an older like that, but having a hard time remembering what I watched yesterday? But he reviewed it. He calls himself Movie Tramp. I know him and I talked about the Virginian, and so now I don't know his name. I don't know his first name, so now I just call him Trampus after the Virginian. I just, I'm just like, I don't know his name. So what do I call him? I'm not going to call him Tramp. I'm going to call him Trampus because that was one of the coolest cowboy characters ever created. Um, and like I said before, man, when it comes down to theme music, I love Paladin. I love Have Gun Will Travel. But I'll be the first to tell you that the theme to the Virginian is the best. That's the best Western theme ever. That is such a cool theme. Way wicked cool. Um, so yeah, man, I dropped the link down there. I dropped the link in my community tab. You guys can check out his review. As a matter of fact, why don't I go over there to my community tab? I'll grab his link. You guys can go check that out. Uh, where is it? Where is it? Yeah, he's another one that could use a little bump. I know you guys are. I know you guys are not most likely subscribed to Trampus because he does a Western channel, and most of you guys here that are here watching or listening to us, you guys are into the horror film. Uh, but as um, I'm more of a variety channel. I do a little bit of everything. So I will be going to the Old West myself. Uh, um, we're going to go ride with the Lone Ranger. I'm hooking up with the Bat, aka Al Lacard. Him and I will be doing the Young Riders, and then I will be doing Appaloosa tomorrow with Ed Harris and Viggo Mortensen and Jeremy Irons. That was written by Robert Parker, who created the Spencer series. So yes, we're getting back into the westerns for a little bit. I don't think. Let's see. I just gotta say, visit Trampus 5900. Yeah, I just can't call him Movie Tramp. I'm just no. I just no. I just no. I don't. I want to call him by his name. Oh, it's a beautiful night. I thought there'd be a few more people online here, um, doing the tube thing, but it could be getting close to school and people might be on vacation or whatnot. Um, okay. So there's Trampus channel right there. If you want to go over there and give him a sub, that would be awesome. Um, let's see. Yeah, a couple of you guys have pinged me about Sharks versus Slock Week. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen with the original lineup. Definitely going to happen because I'm doing Shark Week in September, and just I'm doing Shark Week. I wanted to do it before the end of the year, end of the season. So I'm doing a combination of both movies. I got picked to watch and review, and then a couple of movies I just couldn't do it. I just one movie in particular I couldn't do it. One movie I might not be able to do it because I don't know if I can find it in streaming. Um, So, one movie that I subbed, as I watched today, I'll be putting it up later on. Later on. Hey, there she is. What's going on, Lady Valerie? I was talking with Russell. We were saying how it's going to be a really long 2 weeks before Michael comes back. Not gonna be no supernatural movies this weekend. No supernatural movies. No spooky ghost. Yeah, there's no. The Shape will not be entering the chat this weekend. Um, but I'm talking about Shark Week 2026. I'm doing five shark movie reviews every Wednesday. Um, every Wednesday. So far, I've gotten four down. I watched Water Park Shark today. I think that's actually from Lady Valerie, who mentioned that one. And I watched Water Park Shark today, and I had a lot of fun with that. Wow, that was like the closest. That was like I said, it was a non-asylum asylum movie. um, yeah, but I watched that today, and I was pretty impressed. It was fun. I definitely thought it was definitely a worthwhile watch. Um, Anthony C. Ferrante, who created, and directed the Sharknado movies. So he came back to do another shark movie, and he put some muscle into it. It was a very well done movie, a lot of laughs. Um, uh, yeah, I did. I really was impressed. I really was. I was a lot of fun. I know some people are saying, "Well, it's a one and done." I'm like, no. If someone put that out on the shelves, if someone put that on the shelves, I saw that come through the library. Hell yeah, I'm buying that. That was a fun movie. Um, a lot of humor. Um, it was rated PG-13, so it's not gory. It's everything is played for laughs. Yeah, I was all right with it. Now I have one movie left. It's supposed to be called. It's supposed to be The Sharks of the Third Kind, and it's by Mark Polonia. And I'm trying to find a place where I can watch it. Um, it might be on Fossum, but man, I'm not sure if you've been to Fossum lately. You go in there for a 90-minute movie. You might as well. It's like watching network TV. It's a 90-minute movie, but it's a 2-hour time slot. The commercials on Fossum are unbelievable. They're like they're like up to six now. Six. I mean, you're sitting there like this for about 6 minutes, waiting for the movie to come on, and they do a lot of commercials. They've gotten away from that. They've gotten away with one of the reasons why people really like that is that we don't mind being ad supported. We understand that, but when you show one or two movies, when you show one or two commercials, that's cool. We're all right with that. But also when you start showing six in a row, uh, and not and they're always this, and some places it's just the same commercial like run three or four times in a row. It's just really makes it not fun to watch it anymore. Tubi was actually really good. Um, not very many commercials at all. It felt like the first time I watched Tubi, because Tubi had been getting into that commercial that little bit too much, a little bit now too. But for this one, it was very, very manageable, and it felt appropriate. It felt like I was watching the Sci-Fi Channel again. To tell you the truth, it felt really like I was watching the Sci-Fi Channel on a Saturday night, and I was for it. Um, so yeah, so doing that. Let's see. What else have we been doing? Oh, so of course this happens too. Um, so I go down to the library a few weeks ago, and I find a movie called Nightfire. Um, I mentioned it's a one of those erotic thrillers mysteries, and it has Shannon Tweed in it, and like it was the first time I ever found that kind of movie at the library. I mean, I think there's one other movie, but it's more of a mockbuster. It was more of the Asylum put it out, and they were imitating 50 Shades of Grey. Um, So that was I didn't really count that as a Cinemax movie because Cinemax came out in the 90s. So I get this movie called Nightfire, and it's the first time I got one on DVD, and I'm like, wow, okay. So of course I'm going like, this is so unusual that we got to watch it. We got to put that on Dollar Theater and watch it. So I did. It made its way through up and through, and I watched it. And actually, people, I guess there's not that many reviews of it for because for me, it's doing pretty good. It's actually doing pretty good for because most of my views on my reviews are not very good. Nobody really watches and nobody really comments as much. But I'm all right with that because I'm proud of the movies that I do review. I like my selection. I'm different. That's what I love about Trampus, man. Trampus's movies are great. He does 100% westerns. Those movies from the 50s, the 40s, 50s, 60s, he covers that. It's great. And nobody else is doing it. So why not go support it, right? And I know, like I said, I know my channel is all over the place. You go look at Dollar Theater and uh, you know who's awesome? Thank you for those kind words. Thank you so much. Um, I tell you who I really wish I could get on here a little bit more and do more TV stuff is Kenny from Kenny's Movie Palace. That guy is a walking encyclopedia on TV. He is amazing. He, I'm just sitting there going, man, this guy knows everything. You mentioned a TV show, he's gonna know something about it. He's the sort of guy that if you mention the 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon, he could do that. He could do that without hitting the computer. I like to read about it. I like to read about the business. It's a lot of fun. So here we are. Here we are. We got Shannon Tweed, my first Shannon Tweed movie, first Shannon Tweed review, Nightfire. First movie I've gotten since I've been going to the library exclusive. And we talked about it. We talked about it too right after I put it out there, and I'm sitting there going like, we're talking about all the movies and shows that happened during that time. They had a lot of different shows and what have you. My friend Monique Parent, she was here a couple of weeks ago. We talked. She did a couple of those as well. You work. Um, but this last week, I was at the library, and they're calling off their old TV shows, and lo and behold, I got my first copy of Red Shoes Diary. Zalman King's Red Shoe Diary, which is in the same realm as with Nightfire, the 70s. I think I want to say Red Shoes Diary aired on HBO. It's an HBO show. It wasn't. I don't think it was a Skinamax show, but I used to play it late at night, and a lot of it was just a lot of starlets. A lot of people you didn't know. But what made it really interesting was the host. Like they had a narrator, and that was David Duchovny. David Duchovny as Jake, and he would introduce the half-hour show, and then he would close it because it's an anthology series, and he would close it. And so I found one. It was a little sampler, has 3 episodes on it, and yes, David Duchovny is on it. And I'm going like, isn't that how it always works out? You never see a single movie at all, at all. And the same thing happened to me with Up. I had never seen Up before, and I was looking for it. I was looking for it, and I was looking for it. Could not find it for the life of me. Then right out of the pandemic, after like another year, it finally hit. Someone donated a Blu-ray of Up. Been looking for it for years. Now I know some of you guys say you could just bought it. You could have bought it from eBay. That's not how I build my collection. I build it basically by hunting for it. So yes, I could have bought it, with a couple of clicks, I could have bought it, but that's not really how I want to do it. I want to do it by finding it. It's just more, it's more fun for me that way. But despite being in the library, in a really nice town, and people put up a lot of Disney stuff. I mean, you see that I get a lot of Disney stuff. Um, I didn't I couldn't find Up, and then finally it happened. Came in there, and there was a Blu-ray version of Up. Bam! Wow, a miracle, a miracle. I go ahead and pick it up. Pun not intended. So I go ahead and buy it. Go home. I said I found Up. Of course, then everybody says, "You got it?" Yeah. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. Don't watch the first 20 minutes. Don't watch the first 20 minutes. You won't like the first 20 minutes. Um, so first it's like you got to watch Up. I got it. Well, yeah, but now you can't watch the first 20 minutes. Um, but but after that, after all those years of looking for a single copy, within the next month and a half, 2 months, 4 copies roll in. Four. So go from 0 to basically 5 in 2 months. I got my copy. 4 more come rolling through. I was just like, it made me laugh. It just made me laugh. And we're like, of course it is. So I just thought about that when I got the Red Shoes Diary. I was like laughing because I'm going like, we just got done talking about this. Like these things never come out. They're never seen. Maybe on VHS. VHS, yes. But as far as uh, uh, hey, how are you? Biting bit? By 10 bit. Greetings. Uh, oh, hell yeah. The professor is in the house. Uh, looking out for the king of budget ballers right there. The professor. The budget ball. No, that's not me, man. Oh my gosh, man. That professor, you rocked it. But did you if you I think you saw my last video, how to pay homage to the king here. Um, but I was sharing how I found a copy of 3 episodes of Red Shoes Diaries. Now the professor, he'll know about the Red Shoes Diaries. He'll know about that. Anything like that, I go to the professor. Like, what am I, like with my Shannon Tweed movie, Professor, what about this? That's a good one. You know what? Your hall videos are the president. Um, though I will say this, I think I did keep up with you a little bit. I will say that. I mean, I've had some good luck. I completed a few series. See, yeah, I had a feeling. So I was saying how you never find those movies at all. You never find them at all, and then you find one, and then they all find you. Well, I mean, I've only got two, but I only got two. Well, no, I only got the one movie, Nightfire, and then I got the one the sampler of Red Shoes Diary. But I have a feeling. Why do I have a feeling that those are going to start popping up now? Uh, Now, of course, I really like to find the. Let's see. Oh, Grandpa. Oh my gosh, no Grandpa here. No Grandpa here. That's for sure. No grandkids. That's for sure. Um, But yeah, I expect that we'll be seeing more of those coming through. I bet we'll find a lot more of those coming through the library. Now that I found one. Of course, I would like to have Person of Interest, the fifth series, the fifth season. That's what I'm really hoping for, but that's not going to happen. Yeah, you know what I found? You know what I found? I found the Royal Tenenbaums again last Tuesday. I would love to know. I'd like to know. Talk to Criterion about that. Um, I'd like to know how the hell did it happen where they allowed all the Paul Anderson movies out like that. They put out a they put out a the Royal Tenenbaums and Mount Rushmore. I see those two out more than any other Criterion out in the wild. Though you and I got the same movie. That was really strange. And hold on one second, Professor. Oh yeah, seen that one out there too. So this is the one I got at the library. Yeah, I got. Is yours all yellow? Because I got my booklet here. It's in blue. Oh, there it is, black and yellow. It's not double sided either. Yeah, my copy's blue all the way through. Yeah, isn't that strange? Let's see. Thank you. Whoever whacked that troll, that was me. Sometimes I forget I'm not a mod here and I'm swinging at air. Yeah, that was me. I dropped the hammer on that one. Let's see. Still don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why either, Professor. It didn't like say it like it wasn't like a special edition or anything like that. Like like the 10th anniversary of it or the 30th anniversary. It just was just in blue. And of course, right after that, right after I get this one, you pop up with it, and then I got a copy of Kurosawa's Throne of Blood. Then someone else grabbed it. I saw someone else post it in one of their haul videos. They found that out while they're in the wild. It's like that's crazy. I'm just hoping there's going to be. I'm hoping there's going to be a few more criterions before the. I'm not sure exactly how much is left from my library's TV hall call. Um, they're still calling out TV shows. Like I know this Tuesday is going to be pretty good because last week they had so many movies last week that they didn't have room for them all. Um, and yeah, they didn't have room for them all at all. And but just wasn't anything really there that I really needed. But I did get some TV stuff. And I thought that was going to be the end of it, but they said that they're at T right now. They have at least, it looks like they're saying that they have at least 2 more weeks of it. Yeah, yeah. Isn't that something? I'm all about it. I'm totally fine. If they want to drop their DVDs off with us, yeah, I'm fine. The TV shows have been really good. I'm really hoping that I was hoping that they would drop some Inspector Morse. I was really hoping they would drop off some of those because I've seen the copies in the library, and their copies are really beat to the dog meat. I mean, they really look bad. And I'm just thinking, aesthetically speaking wise, you probably would like to you probably need to go through them and upgrade them because if they look like dog meat on the shelves, people aren't going to rent them. They're not going to, especially the ones, especially the random ones. So someone wants to come in and take a chance on renting something. They come over and they see that it looks like this, like nobody cares. They're not going to care either. The ones that look like they've been taken care of, they're the ones that always get. And the thing is, our libraries rent them out for free. You can rent out movies at my library for free. So yeah, your haul this week was absolutely insane. But I think this year has been the best year for me as far as the library goes. Um, Overall, I think it's been my best year, which really surprised me because the year before last was really good too. Then last year was dog meat. I almost didn't renew last year. I really did. In fact, the only thing that really got me was the fact that the very last week of the year, they came out with a pretty good haul, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna gamble." And so I went for another year, and then it turned out to be this year, and it's been amazing. Absolutely, the foreign call. That's what really saved this year. Man, they had never done that before. They, called out their foreign films. The library had never done that before, and so when they did it, nobody knew what those movies were. Nobody knew, but I had because I read about them. I've heard about them. I've heard the names. I know the people in it. So I was just able to go in there and clean up. I'm getting 40 movies in 2 weeks. I got like 70 movies in 2 weeks at a quarter a piece because no one really did. Nobody's watching foreign film, and I got foreign films coming up. I got some foreign films coming up. No, just an ID. Check your ID out. Um, I rented out. I checked out Good Boy, and I'm gonna be doing that again since we're gonna be covering Good Boy in September for the IFC show. I want to talk about that movie. Let's see. Kelly says, "I'm so glad there's a appreciation market for old movies on DVD, and where random and obscure stuff can be shared and talked about." Oh my gosh, yes. Well, you know what? That's the thing about like channels like mine and the professor and Charles Hobbs Horror. Um, we cover a lot of different movies, man. We like talking about different movies. Um, I mean, it doesn't have to be all horror films. We cover like I'm covering let's see, what do I got coming up? I got a movie called Living Among Us. That's a vampire movie. That's a lot of fun. I'm doing an episode of The Lone Ranger for RetroTube TV Jam. I mean, come on. I mean, we've done a lot of fun movies, and I love and even Mike, American Werewolf in New Jersey. Um, he talks about a lot of obscure stuff. He, but I like talking about these kind of movies. Now I do have to go. I do have to put in another another Criterion. I've only reviewed two Criterion movies in my collection, and both I gotta say both were sort of disappointing. I did Chasing Amy that Kevin Smith did. It was okay. It wasn't gangbusters like I thought it would be. And then I reviewed Anora, and oh god, that was heart garbage. That was terrible. I didn't even make it through. I made it through about halfway through, and I was like, yeah. The only redeeming, yeah. Let's see. Horror is my first love, but I partake in all films all the way back to the silent era. Genres are the one genre I don't much collect for because I watch movies for fun, not watch someone suffer. Let's see. At least not real life suffer. Horror movie suffering is different. Yeah, Mike's a good guy. He's really good. He's a good cinephile. Um, but he's also a little bit of a snob, a movie snob. Um, and yeah, and it's just a shame. I mean, you know, he watches a lot of good movies and he likes to talk about them. But like I watched Water Park Shark, and I talked about it. Now he would never be caught dead talking about a movie like that. And though we did get him to watch a few IFC movies before, we did get him to do that. Uh, it all depends. True crime and all that. I mean, I watch a little bit of everything. Let's see. I'll be watching the Western tomorrow, Appaloosa. Then I'm going to be watching the new Superman movie. I'm finally going to get to that. I'm getting to that, and then I'm doing. I'm doing I'm doing something different for Dollar Theater. I'm going to be doing 4 movies in a row, um, based on one franchise. So I'm doing the first 4 movies of the Resident Evil franchise. So I haven't done a retrospective on a horror franchise since me and Al did it for Friday the 13th. We had a lot of fun. Fuck no, shit no, I'm not doing that. I I'm not doing. I'm gonna send you some Louisa Warren movies. That girl, oh Lord. Well, I watched one Bad Shark movie though. I watched 2 Bad Shark movies, Professor. I watched Sharks in the Corn. I watched Sharks in the Corn. Uh, then I watched Bikini Shark. No, just no. Lady Val mentioned Water Park Shark. I watched that. That was a lot of fun. I would recommend that. Highly recommend it. It was a lot of fun. Oh, Professor, I meant to tell you, I have something that you want. I have a copy of Mr. Hyde and Hyde and Jacqueline, the one that turns in Miss Hyde, Dr. Jekyll and Miss Hyde. I have that. I found that. When I found that years ago. Years ago. I think I picked it up at the Salvation Army. Oh my God, no. Oh, it's horrible. I still gotta go and put the trailer in for Corn Sharks. I don't even know if I really want to do that. I'm like, man, if I have these guys watch a trailer, they're just gonna come back and bomb me. Oh man, Bikini Shark is awful. It's worse than Sharks of the Corn. It's worse than that. And Sharks of the Corn is really bad. Really bad. which surprised me. I was really surprised because I had never seen it before. I know that I gave it to Eric to watch, and he hated it. But I didn't think it'd be all that bad because it was released by SRS, and I didn't think that I didn't think Ron would put out anything really really stinky like that. But once in a while, uh, I have not found a copy of The Beautician and the Beast. I just got done reviewing though The Rocketeer, which has Timothy Dalton in it. I do have that. I did that's going to come out in a few weeks. The Rocketeer. That was my Dollar Theater review number 200 was The Rocketeer. That was fun. I like The Rocketeer. That was a really cool movie. Yep, I've had that for a long time. Dr. Jekyll and Miss Hyde. I've had that for years. I never even thought about that until I saw your comment. I'm going like, man, I should bring that up and talk about it. I will. I'm going to bring it up and talk about it. Well, this Friday will be the it's going to be the last 8 questions for a while, except for occasionally something really special comes around. I'll do it, but as doing 3 shows a week or 2 shows a week, I'm not going to be doing that anymore for a little bit. Um, yeah, um, so I'm going to be doing more reviews, more maybe more retrospectives. I've been having a lot of fun doing I've been having a lot of fun doing RetroTube. I get so many cool TV shows now that I can go in there and grab one and talk about it. I don't have a lot of complete series, but I do, because I don't want to do that. I know that one guy, he's doing it with the X Files. He's been doing it for as long as I've known his channel. He's on season 7, episode 3. Oh Lord, that's just like that's dedication. That's what that is. Uh, Let's see. No one seems to know about those 2 movies. Always talk about them, and it looks like the hell you're talking about, man. No, I don't. I've heard of the Beautician and with the one French Drescher, the Beautician and the Beast. I've heard of that movie for sure. And you're right. I have never heard anybody mention. I have never heard anybody mention Dr. Jekyll and Miss Hyde. Never once until you did it. When you mentioned it, Professor, that's what triggered me. I said, "Oh, I got that movie." I'm going like, I actually have something that the professor doesn't have. What? Then I passed out because the professor has everything. Anything that's horror related, the professor has it, and he has a killer opening song too. So, someone came by and left you a comment, Professor, saying they come over just to hear your intro. I I thought that was actually pretty cool. Oh, you and me both. You and me both, man. That's why I don't get any reviews. That's why I don't get any views on my shit because no one knows what I'm. No one know. Nobody knows the movies that I talk about, and then of course the ones that I do know, they still don't come. Let's see. Let me. Let's see. I can go ahead and. Let's see. It might be out of print, Kelly. So here's Dollar Theater Volume 2. You guys can go take a look at that and go like, what the hell is this guy watching? I did my first Argento movie here. No, actually my second. I did my second Argento movie with here. See, I did Voices. I did Abbott and Costello meets Frank meets Frankenstein. I did the Final Countdown. That was supposed to be pretty popular. Nope. I did The Hill with Dennis Quaid. Nope. I did an eight nation tour. Went to different. I did reviews of 8 horror movies from 8 different countries. Um, Nobody went to that. Uh, yeah, I finally got that. Jamie Hart sent that to me. Um, yeah, that was very sweet. Or I offered to trade her. I said I'd be more than happy to send something back, and she said no. She said nope. So I was really happy about that, and I'm reviewing The Hole this weekend. Um, that's my next. I think it's my next dollar theater review is The Hole, and that's with Haley Bennett. That's a good movie too. Yeah, I'm gonna start reviewing the movies I have of hers. I'm gonna start reviewing them. I was still looking for Hillbilly Elegy. Had not been able to find that yet. She's in that one too, but she hasn't been working a lot lately. I don't know why. It's sort of complexing. Um, of course, you know me. I tell you the one thing. I tell you the one thing I'm looking for right now. My number one with a bullet. Um, Obviously, it's a Good Boy. I want to see Good Boy. You know, she has a little daughter. She does have a daughter. So yes, that could be a possibility. She could be getting another have another child. I try. I put all the words in, all the keywords in. I look at like I didn't do let's see. What did I do? Let's see. I mean, the titles themselves are just so, you know, I mean, not all obscure. Let's see. Let me move this over here a little bit. All right, let me go ahead and do this by oldest. Okay, so I'm gonna read you the movies that I did for this right here, and you can see how different they really are. Um, some are like some are favorites, but like some movies you think that like wow, everybody knows this movie, they're gonna come watch it. Um, I put I did Flight Risk. Uh, Actually, I think I think I started that in January. I did Flight Risk with Michelle Dockery and Mark Wahlberg. Let's see. Let's see. I did that one. That was actually pretty mainstream. Wasn't very good. And then I did a baseball movie called The Hill with Dennis Quaid and Colin Ford. That was actually pretty good. It was okay. Dennis Quaid was cast strong in that movie, but otherwise that was all right. Um, The ending of the movie was cheesy, but it's Hollywood. Then I reviewed Mystery Men. Of course, that's like a 27-year-old movie. Then I did a concert documentary on Waylon Jennings. He was live from Austin, Texas. That was actually pretty good. I really enjoyed that. Um, People seem to just want to see the same movies talked over and over and over again. Or if someone says the movie is bad, they won't watch it because of that instead of taking a chance and watching it. Yeah, that's the thing with YouTube, Professor. That's something that's you're absolutely right. Now, Kelly, I mean, me and the professor, we could increase our views to our movies, our channels, but we would have to talk about Scream and Halloween and Friday the 13th, and that's all we could talk about. We could only talk about the major franchises. If we don't talk about the major franchises, we don't get views from that. That's how they've even said that's how they do it. They want you to talk about only the most popular items, and we're not about that. I couldn't do that. I know a lot of content creators that have basically sold out to do that, for views. They have rolled over on their back and and said, okay, I'll talk about Scream again. I'll do watch plays. I'll do watch parties of Halloween Kills and all that. They do that all the time now, and they do get the views. I won't lie to you. They do get the views, but it's just hollow. It's boring. It's absolutely boring. That's why a lot of horror channels here. If you talk about anything other than those big franchises, or now like a session or back rooms, if you don't talk about them, their creators, then you're not going to get any support. Let's see what else have we reviewed. Okay, so I like older movies. So I found this copy of basically public domain movies, and they had at the library, and they had one with Meet John Doe with Gary Cooper and Barbara Stanwyck. So I covered that, and then next week I covered My Man Godfrey from 1936. That was a sensational movie. That's a great movie. And nobody's watched that. Well, actually, Barbara Stanwyck did all right. Then I did an IFC movie, Save the Date, with Lizzie Kaplan, and Allison Brie. Nobody came watch that. And then I did a review of a horror film we covered on the IFC channel called Z. That was really good, and didn't get any love for that. Let's see. Hey, how are you, Rohan? Now that's something that's movies I really want to try to get into. Um, I was hoping to find RRR. I never got a chance. I never found it at the library. Um, yeah, I've been looking for Bollywood films. Cannot find them to save my life. Cannot find them. Um, I have two ladies that hang out with me on Tuesday at the library, and we talk movies, and both of them are Indian. And I asked them to, like, if you see something that you think that I should watch, can you show it to me and can you tell me? And I have yet to get a single one, not one, and I want to. I saw Jackie Chan. He did yoga. What was it? Yoga. It was yoga something or another, and he filmed it in India, and that was such a fun movie. Maybe it was Yoga Master, Yoga. Oh, um, I'm trying to figure that out. Let me find that Jackie Chan movie. I don't want to. I'm trying to think of that one of the Jackie Chan movie. Let me see if I Professor, bail my ass out. Let's see. Kung Fu Yoga. It was called Kung Fu Yoga. Oh my gosh, that movie is so much fun, and the way they closed it out is absolutely amazing. I love the ending of that movie. That movie is on fire. But Yoga Kung Fu was a lot of fun. Beautifully made too. That ending, the final credits are just absolutely just fun. All right. What else? What else have we watched on oh my gosh, Professor, you would know it if you saw it. The ending is unforgettable. It's so cool. Kung Fu Yoga. That's a great movie. Jackie Chan was really good in that one. What else have we watched here? Me and the Cheetah. We watched Ocean's 11, the original one with Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. and Dean Martin. We watched that one and reviewed it. Nope. Uh, we watched a Hallmark Christmas movie because I'm into Hallmark. We watched A Shoe Addict's Christmas. That is one of the most popular movies that they've ever made as far as the Christmas goes, with Candace Cameron Bure. That was a really good movie, but not very many people came by. I did another one the next week. Actually, I did five. I did five. I did. It was my first theme that I did, and it was Christmas movies. And I did five reviews of five Hallmark Christmas movies, and yeah, they didn't do anything. Nobody came out. No one came out at all. Um, and that includes one of my favorite ones too, which was the Nine Lives of Christmas, with Brandon Routh and Kimberly Susted, and they rescued cats. I did a documentary called Saving Jaws. Let's see. As hard as to keep track of all the movies Jackie Chan makes, guy's pushing 70 and he's still pumping out movies like a madman. Yeah, the one thing I'll say about Jackie Chan though is he's getting older, he's getting better as far as his acting goes. His acting is, and same thing with Donnie Yen and Jet Li, Dolph Lundgren, Sylvester Stallone. Um, the older they have gotten, the better they have. The more better they are as actors. Really good. You guys need to check out some more Alexander Nevsky movies too. Alexander Nevsky, he's amazing. And I just heard he put out a comment on his Facebook page that the third movie of the Rio Bravo franchise, which is the Western franchise, is happening. They're gonna make the third movie. I've been waiting for that since the second movie. um, yeah, I have mine belt on too. Yeah, they just don't care about us because we're not talking about the popular movies. Professor, I'm sure that if you and I like don't if we decided to in September, if we decided to make let's talk about Scream all September on Friday nights, we'll just that's all we're gonna talk about for 5 weeks is nothing but Scream. I can guarantee you that our view counts for those shows will be higher than anything else we do that month. It'll be higher than anything else that we do. If you and I just talk Scream, or Halloween, or if we just talk about the major franchises, um, I guarantee you, well, our view counts will be higher for that than anything else we do. Yep, and of course, YouTube is now doubling they're doubling down on monetization. Um, Basically, you have to be doubled everything. Um, you have to have 1,000 subscribers. You have to have 8,000 watch hours, and I guess a million views combined for your shorts. Who who the hell gets who gets a million hits for a short? I, I put the cheetah on there, and I'm lucky if I get 1,000. And he's the most beautiful thing on the planet. Yeah, yeah, it's ridiculous, Professor. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, it was gonna be 3,000. It was 3,000, and then they double it. Yeah, they just don't want to pay out anymore. They just want us to continue to supply that because every time we put up a video, YouTube benefits from it. Nobody may be watching our content, but they still can make money off of it by putting ads to it. Let's see. What else have I done? Um, I did a documentary called Saving Jaws. So I actually thought I thought that was a documentary. I thought that was actually about saving the animatronic Jaws. Bruce from the movie Jaws. I thought that's what that was. I thought it was about saving the animatronic. Save Bruce. Um, I didn't realize it was actually a documentary about some diver. Um, Oh, but they're going to place ads on non monetized channels, so they won't pay you, but they can still make money off of you. Yep, yep. There's a lot of good channels out there, Kelly, that are great channels, and yeah, they don't get any love at all. It's frustrating. I put out a bunch of channels up there before up on top. I can bring them down. Let's see if I can bring them down. Let's see. I did a horror film called The Frozen, which I actually thought that was really good. I really enjoyed that. Um, Nobody else really did, but I did. Then the first one I had, the first okay. So it was a Gamma versus Gaius, and I almost got 600 views for that. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. I got it during the first 3 days. I got my 569 views or 60 views. And I've had it up there ever for 6 months, and I haven't got a single view since then. Not one view have I gotten since I put it up. Um, let's see. I put up. Let's see. I did Monsters University, Disney. Nope. I did my second Criterion review, and that was a Nora. I was all right with that. I was okay that nobody watched that. I didn't even finish that. Um, and then I was watching Dell's channel yesterday. Dell on movies. I was watching him, and he was doing his list of black superhero movies. And so I was really interested in that. And oh yeah, AI, yeah, Yeah, I heard about that on Rumble. I heard it was pretty right wingish. But Dell on Dell on movies, he was doing the list of the 21 black superhero movies, and lo and behold, he put one up that we talked about, and that was Vixen. We reviewed Vixen about 6 months ago. Nobody came and saw it, but and then we did a Civil War drama from that was actually pretty good. Then we did a Christian film. I do faith-based reviews as well, and I did one called Reading Kate, which I thought was a lovely movie, and nobody came to watch that. And then I did Masters of Horror. I did a Masters of Horror episode, Homecoming. Nope, nobody came for that. Uh, let's see. We did Wicked Little Things. That was actually been the most popular. I was the most popular movie I did in this playlist, and that had 657. Um, also helps if you get the 3 minute minimum watch and the comment. Gotta have all those three in the algorithm to get a notice. Yeah, I don't understand it myself. To me, it's like the 3 minute minimum is that should be doable. That is a little bit lazy on the viewer. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on. Is your memory that shot that you cannot sit there and watch a review, for 10, 15 minutes? I mean, honestly, some of the longer ones, the deep dive ones, yeah, maybe they are a little bit long. But you know what? I don't really need you to listen to everything. Just listen to the first 3 to 5 minutes. Just so I can, just so we can get the love. I I love listen. I love watching people when they go deep. Um, when they talk a little bit about their video, that's why I don't really watch a lot of shorts. I really don't. I'm not really interested in that. And small reviews, like this one guy does. This one guy does 10 word reviews. I don't want to see 10 word review because I know you have more of an opinion than that. So drop a 10-minute review. I'm down. I got to go to the professor's channel every time though, because the professor, he is the president of the Budget Ballers. I mean, that guy's just dropping fire. I always go over there. Like the professor, he got a copy of Dreamscape. I'm like, look at the professor go. The professor is on fire right now. Man, you got so many movies. You got so many movies, Professor, that nobody else has. I mean, you were just dropping off all these different movies and going like, "Wow, I haven't even seen that in the wild at all. Not once. I haven't seen anything like that." And the professors, "Yeah, I got this, I got that, and you got this. Yeah, well, yeah, this. I got this one too. You got this one." It's like, and watch it turn out. Watch it turn out that I got a blue copy of this movie, and watch that the special edition movie is the one that's yellow. And who has the yellow copy of this? The professor. They do, Lady Valerie. Yeah, but hitting the like button and watching 3 minutes of content is it's critical. Well, we definitely do. Like I said, I'm doing more things, more interesting things, doing more themes. I think that will be really fun to do. Um, let's see. See, Patty Malarkey. Hello. Hope my comments are visible finally. YouTube is a shady platform. Analytics are now widely inconsistent and obviously misrepresentation, driving me nuts. Uh, anyway, hello, hello. Let's get your channel in here so we can all sub to it. All right, here is Patty's channel right here. You can go over there and check him out. And let's see, I think he's at all right. Uh, oh, that's all right, man. You know what? That's the variety of life, right? Not every channel is a movie channel. You know, not. I mean, I've seen farm channels. I've seen van life channels. You know, seen all sorts. No, as long as you're having fun, man, not hurting anybody. Hell yeah, let's do it. So we'll get you a couple of heads here on your channel, get you a couple of subs. That's what it's all about. Wow, it's already 11:30. Didn't realize it was so late. Oh, all right. Uh yeah, it's gonna be really tough going forward though. It's really tough going forward now. I mean, I've seen some really good channels out there. They got really good live streams going on. They have, you know, a lot of people roll up their live streams, have 16 or 18 people watching them or 20 people watching them. And you think that their channels would be blowing up a little bit by now because of it. And it shocks me to come back there and I see some of these channels that are going online, doing live streams like I'm doing here, and they can't get any traction. They can't get anybody to sub to them. They got the people watching, but they can't get anybody new to come over and sub to their channel, um, which is really crazy. I mean, a lot of these channels, they should just be blown the hell up, 1,500 people, 2,500 people. I mean, I do know some channels that have done that, but I know a lot more that haven't. And it's just really perplexing to me. Well, unfortunately, YouTube doesn't really agree with you, Patty. That's the thing. I mean, I agree with you, but YouTube doesn't. Um, Professor mentions my channel is full of randomness, movie reviews, DVD hauls, prop building, Halloween decor, booze reviews. Booze reviews? Um, I guess that's why the algorithm hates me because I'm all over the place. Yeah, you and me both, Professor. I think that's what um I think that's what a lot of us. There's a lot of us here that do talk about other things other than those, like you know, if you're a horror fan, you're only allowed to talk about 8 or 9 topics. That's going to draw you any sort of is going to make you draw any sort of audience. In fact, if I come up tomorrow, because I might talk about this tomorrow, but I think tomorrow, just to prove a point, I'll put a couple of I'll put a couple of franchises in my title. Like, let's talk about, my thoughts and theories on Scream 8. And let's see how many people we get in here for that. I'm sure that I will get a lot more people coming in for that than I've gotten here tonight. But then again, we did get fresh faces tonight. One was got hooked, but I've seen two or three people in here that I haven't seen before in my live stream, so that's a good thing. If they hit the sub button, if they come back again, more power to them. That's what it used to be. It used to be like you go ahead and do a live stream or something like that, and you get subs, you get traffic, you get engagement, and if you're not talking about the main topics, and not just movies either, um, you're not going to get any traction. Yeah, thanks. How did you find us, Patty? How did you find us? Did you was it just out there randomly, or was it? Okay, that would be interesting. That would be interesting. Just swiping. Okay. Yeah. Yes, I do that too. I go through some of the channels. I'll hit live. I'll hit the live button just to see who's on live. And if there's something in there I'm interested in, I'll go check it out, and then I'll do exactly what you did. I'll hit a sub. I'll sub. Yeah, that's why I put this on here, Professor. That's why I put it up here. I like to push people if I can. Here is there's our friend Trampus right there. If you want to sub to his channel, please do. Um, yeah, so you guys have heard the term of sub. You guys have heard the word of the term sub frozen, right? Subscription frozen. You've heard of that term, right? Man, I'm telling you, I would be a frozen block of ice. I would be a frozen block of ice. Um, because that happens to me a lot. Sub frozen is when you'll get to a certain point and then you will not grow. You will stay right there. If you're at 1502, you can stay there for over a month, and you can be doing live streams like this, talking in front of people you don't know. You will still stay at 1502. They will not let you get. They will not let subs come to you. That has happened to me so many times. I cannot tell you. I've had people come and say, "Hey, I subbed," and I left a comment, and their sub still does not come through. It is rough. That sucks. I watched, and Professor, you were there for one when Jim that happened to Jim. Now it's dark. Now it's dark. He went through that horribly. Oh man, that was awful, awful. If I may, since I think I can, I would like to share another movie collector that could use his subs. Horror with Haas. Yeah, man. Hobbs Horror with Haas is an IFC midnighter. I still love to have Haas come back and do the show. I wish he would. I wish he would. Haas is great. I don't know why he doesn't do content. Yeah, damn, that makes sense, Patty. It definitely makes sense. I mean, if your channel is not making YouTube any money, if there's nobody coming by and watching your content and watching your ads, that's probably one of the reasons why they just stall you out. It's like, hell, if you're not going to gain any people, then why am I, yeah. But I have seen so many channels just race by me that, like race by me. And I'm like, wow, I know my content ain't all that, but I should be at this point by now. But I don't play the game. So, but I did think about it. I did think about on Friday in September is to come up here and do like a couple hour talk about the franchises just to see what kind of traffic I get. Will I get traffic from it? Yes, he does. Yeah, but the thing with Haas though, Professor, the only thing he does is haul videos, and that's the thing. It's the only thing he does. He doesn't do any reviews or anything like that. That's the reason why. I love his content. I love his haul videos, but it would be better if he reviewed. I didn't understand why he left the ISC show. I knew he was a little bit busy, but it was like, dude, whenever you get settled, come back and hang out with us. Hang out with us. We'll have a seat for you. He never did. He never comes by. He never comes by the ISC show. I was just like, man, we really dug him. Yeah, I agree with that. Very cool. Yeah, I don't sweat it too much. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I never intended for to be a YouTuber. Like I've been to the point where I could have been monetized, but I chose not to. I rather have people come in there and comment on my reviews, and then we could talk that way than anything else. That's really what I really like. I like doing this, and I like talking to people about in the comment sections. That's really all I care about. I'm not looking to get monetized. I'd like to see people come when I do my interview show. When I talk to somebody like a Jeremiah Kipp. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, we talk. You don't get a chance to talk to someone like that very often, much less hear them. Then I hear people. I hear people all the time talk about how fucking how fucking expensive it is to go to a comic book convention and go to a panel and get an autograph. And then there's people like myself who bust our ass. We get some of these people to come talk to us, and you could talk to them too, and nobody shows up. So it's just like, yeah, go pay your $80 to stand in line for 5 hours to get a little signed autograph and not get your question asked. That's all right with me. What happened? Hopefully, some dumb troll didn't give him. Oh, I don't know what happened either, because man, I tell you what, man, he put together he picked out some fantastic movies. The Den, fuck me, man, The Den is a great movie, man. He came out for that one. The Den, and then Crow's Nest, and then I came up with Beyond Vengeance. Damn, man, we were smoking there for a minute. Absolutely just on fire. Let's see. Here is the professor's channel. He's got the coolest theme song. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I never knew what the reason. He just said he had some family things going on, but it seemed like something that he could handle like in 3 or 4 months and then come back. But he still keeps doing his haul videos. He's still on camera for that. Oh, that's right. The professor, he does love his goth chicks, and he likes it, and he likes his Shannon Tweed. Oh my gosh. Hey Joseph, how are you, sir? Hopefully you're doing well, young man. Oh, I like to try to be entertaining, I think. I like to think so. We talk to enough people. Oh, good, good. Did you go to any conventions this year, Joseph? Did you go to any conventions? It's got to be hard to have someone be mean and out of the blue. It's hurtful. Heck, I've had some nasty comments about my comments under videos. Wow, I haven't seen that. Um, I actually, you know what? It's funny. I have really never had anybody whose film I've reviewed. I never had them like come at me, like go to hell. I've had some people like, I've had some people like quit talking to me, or I've asked them to come do 8 questions with. They said no, but I've never had anybody come at me. Like that's a horseshit, point of view on my movie. I never had anybody get mad at me for my review. Like I say it, I review it honestly. I might not like it, but at least I'm going to tell you why. Let's see. Yeah, saw your picture with Danielle Harris. You went to Scarefest last year. That was your first convention. I went to meet Danielle Harris. She's a real sweetheart. I want to meet her again. Well, she's out there. Yeah, I guess the backlash is it is happening this summer about conventions. I guess conventions are the convention traffic is down this year because of the prices. I think people have I mean there's some conventions that are doing okay, but there's some big conventions that have been taking a beating because of the prices. Let's see. Oh, our dear friend Wes, aka the Ice Lord, used to have to deal with mean comments. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, yeah. That's why I cut off a few people because of how they treated Wes, Professor. There's a few people who I don't associate it with myself anymore because of their attitude. I felt bad for him. But I wasn't gonna pick on him. Yeah, that's true, Joseph. Says, yeah, I'm sure Danielle Harris will remember me meeting her, Patrick. I don't think she will because she meets a lot of fans. Well, you know what? That's when you try to do something a little bit special, like like if you bring a T-shirt to her, or you make a CD with music on it. Like make burn off a CD with music that they could play when they drive to. They go to different conventions. Um, if you do something like that and don't expect anything back, you just give it to them out of the kindness of your heart. They do remember that kindness. I can tell you that. Uh, it's rare, but it's shocking. I tell myself haters will hate, but it has nothing to do with me. Just miserable people being miserable. I'm not really their target. They're just randomly mean. Yeah, I've been blessed with that. I really have not had that on my YouTube channel. I've seen people, really nice people, get hammered by getting hammered, and I'm just like, wow, these people are really nice, and yet they're getting hammered. Um, I don't get that. I mean, it could be because honestly, I'm not going to engage with anybody. I have a block button. I hit the block button all the time, all the time. Same thing with Facebook. Same thing with TikTok. I'm not going to sit there and engage with you. You can just talk. You can talk to the wall. So I hit the block button. As Yeah, they must all blend up. They must just all blend. They all just But when you do give somebody something like, if you give them like a CD, or you make up a T-shirt with them or something like that, they do remember that kindness. I'm sure she was nice to me when I met her. I thought she was going to be mean, but I'm glad she was nice to me. It doesn't matter if I'm special. I have special needs. If I'm special needs, I'm still a wonderful person. Sure. Yeah, I mean, you were partly responsible for her being where she's at. That's the thing. We're all responsible for that. That's why it just kills me when I see some of these people like, William Shatner or Adam West or anything else, or Stan Lee, they're charging $500 for a signing, and you're going like, I've already paid that. I paid that when I bought your books, or when I paid the ticket to see your movie, or when I bought a DVD, or a Blu-ray. I've done that already. You don't need to sit there and jack me for that. I mean, without me doing this, you wouldn't be where you're at. Sometimes the celebrities, they just take themselves for granted. They forget how they got there. They got there on the backs of the fans. They didn't get there all just through talent. Yep, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, no, you're definitely. I understand that. I'm a fan of Haley Bennett's. I like everything. I like everything Haley does. It's hard to collect all her stuff though. Yeah, that part of it though. Though is if they want to charge that kind of money for their picture, that's fine. That they could do that. What I don't like, and we had this problem with when I worked in live music, was sometimes an act would come in and they would sell their t-shirts. They would sell their t-shirts like for $50. And the thing what it was like they would turn around and tell us that nobody can undersell us. Like if we had local support, they would come up there and set up their merch table, and maybe they're selling their t-shirts for $15. Well, the big act would come up there and say, well, they can't sell undercut us. And so, we would explain to them that they're local band, and they're not going to get any money. They're not going to get anything if they if they're charging $50, they might as well not even set up their table. And then they would sit there and say, well, that was their problem, not the other act. And we would sit there and say, okay, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And we would tell the local, hey, you can't sell here. You can't sell for $15. You got to match their price. You can't go under. And of course, they would be upset about it, and they have to go take their stuff back to the car or truck. But here's the thing: at the end of the show, we always got our cut, and it could be 35%. It could be 25% or 30%. Most of the time, we never did that. We never took out that kind of cut. Most of the time, we at the end of the show, they would be able to keep their money, and they throw out like 5 or 6 shirts for the crew. Awesome. But whenever a band came over there and they did that to a local band, and Jimmy always sent me to do this too because I really did like doing it. I would go over there and I would count all their shirts in for the show. I count every single one of them. I write it down. I had a pad. I write down exactly how much they had and how much they're selling it with. At the end of the show, while Jimmy and the road manager went to settle up with the band, I go down to the merchant and I settle with them. And let me tell you, I was a bastard. I was not nice. I counted every single shirt, and then I would sit there and say, "Yep, you owe us 30%," and we get a good chunk of money out of that. And they would sit there and say, "Well, 30%. Can you do a little bit better? Can you knock it down to 20, and we'll throw some T-shirts in for the guys?" Nope, I want 30%. I said, "That's exactly. I mean, you insisted on it. You got it. Yeah, give me 30%. I don't need your shirts. My crew doesn't need your shirts. I do need 30% of your merch, though." If they did come back through again, if they did, because this didn't happen a lot. I'm sure it happened more for Jimmy than it did for me. Next time they came through, they weren't such assholes, and they would go ahead and let the local band set up and charge what they charge. Everybody was there to see you anyway. They're not there to see the local band, so why does it matter? Why charge them? Nope, got to be 30%. Can't undercut it. And that's the same thing with the conventions. Stan Lee, $500. Can't undercut it. Yeah. See, Danielle Harris a combo for taking a picture of her and her autograph with $100. I just don't get that. I don't understand that. I don't understand what she's charging for. That's just ridiculous. I mean, you pay $30, 35, $40 just to get through the damn door of the convention, and then you want to go ahead and get a picture, and you're out $140 before your ass even gets to walk around the whole goddamn convention. You're out $140. How is that treating the fans with any love and respect? I don't get that. That's why I throw all my love and support to Grossfest. Tom and Tim, those guys are fucking angels, man. They are angels. $10 for a ticket. $10. I think 15 for 2 days. $15 for 2 days. $10 for a day. And they got some of the nicest vendors, some of the coolest stars. They are doing so well. They are treating it's a family-friendly event. Oh, that's exactly what a convention should be. And they're doing it so right. $100. I like Danielle Harris, but Jesus Christ, I certainly wouldn't charge. I wouldn't ask her for her autograph for $100. I just wouldn't do that. That's just absolutely crazy. We'll keep this going on for another 15 minutes or so, and then at 12 o'clock, I gotta go downstairs and see about getting something to eat before I head to bed. But this has been a lot of fun. I didn't think anybody was going to show up for this for a pop up. So I'm really glad you guys came on. I'm really happy to see all the new people. I kind of get it. I mean, if I'm an actor and acting is everything. Yeah, I do too, Professor. I do too. But tell me, there's no reason why the hell not that Danielle Harris can't charge $50 for that combination. She'd make a lot more money. Plus, think about it. She's getting paid. She's gonna get. She's gonna get. They're flying her out there. They're flying her out there, or she's driving. They're compensating her for her gas. They're putting her up in a hotel. They're feeding her. They're giving her drinks. Most of the time, they'll give her a volunteer to do errands for her. A volunteer to do errands. They're pretty much treated like it's like they're treated very well. Uh, they get fed. They get a big dinner. Like if they get there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they get paid. They get to eat on Friday and Saturday. They get rides to the airport. Isn't it crazy? I have no idea. I have no. I didn't even know. Like I didn't even realize that when I set this up. I set this up, but then I withdrew because I had to do something real quick, and then it came back, and I had actually, we'll start this at 7:30, and I'm going like 7:30. I didn't. I thought I had canceled it, but let's see. Joseph says here, you turn 28 next month on September 22nd. Congratulations, Joseph. I haven't even seen. I don't even know if she's done anything recently. I have not heard Danielle Harris's name attached to a movie in a very long time. Um, I know her and Scout were doing that video, and they were doing that podcast, and then they weren't. Um, I know that she went on. Danielle Harris went on there and said that she had been pretty much doing all the work for it. Is there a celebrity you would like to meet, Pat, right now? Yeah, I'd like to meet Haley Bennett. I'd like to meet Haley Bennett if I could. Uh, yeah, yeah. I just, I just don't think right now is a really good time. It was like the pandemic, right? The convention people got it right after the pandemic. When the pandemic ended and people were going back out, just about every single convention for that first year lowered all their prices, lowered them all. I mean, I didn't hear anybody complain about prices after everything got reopened. They were smart. They kept everything down. All right, get everybody back in. You just want to get them back in, and then maybe next year you could up the prices very small. Instead of saying like $35, maybe make it 37 or something like that. But these people here have gone from like $20 to $50. It's like, and they don't read the room. They don't read the room, and a lot of those celebrities. I mean, a lot of them has to do with their managers and their agents and whatnot. And again, it's up to them too. If I'm a celebrity and I've been to like two or three conventions, and I notice that there's nobody really in line for me because I'm charging $100 for a sign a combination picture and an autograph, and I've noticed that my lines are I usually get a couple hundred people in my line, and yet I'm only getting maybe like 50 or 60. That's when I'm calling my agent up there and I'm going like, lower the damn price, lower my prices because there's nobody in my line here. I'm sitting here and there's nobody here. That is damaging. You don't want to be seen in that situation. So, I mean, the celebrities have pull as well. I mean, They can help set the price. Let's see. I don't understand, Patrick, why Danielle Harris and Scout Taylor Compton quit their podcast. I just think that they just had. I just think they had creative differences, Joseph. From what I heard, what I read, they just had creative differences. And from what Danielle said that she pretty much was doing everything. Yeah. Professor, Professor, how many times how many times do you go into the channel? I just want to know this. How many times whenever they talk about Severin or Criterions or Arrow videos or when they talk about the half off sales, um, how many times do you ever go inside those chats and just sit there and laugh your ass off watching all these guys talk about how much money they're spending on one movie. I spent a Criterion, man. Look at my Criterion haul. They got like 6 movies. They spent $20 a piece for, and yet you and I are pulling out bags worth of loot. Yeah, I paid $7 for this. I got like 30 movies in here. I got like 30. I got some TV shows and shit. I paid like $7 for this. But they're over there going like, oh, look at my haul, and it's $120 worth. I just I I just cracks me up. Makes me laugh. It's like all that money spent, and it's not even like it's already been out there for a while. That's what me and the cheetah do, Kelly. That's exactly what we do. That's exactly what we do. Uh, this week, like I said, this week I'm gonna be doing westerns. I watched the episode of The Lone Ranger yesterday, and then I'm doing Appaloosa tomorrow. I'm perfectly fine with DVD image quality. Hell, DVD looks better than streaming if your internet quality is low. Yeah, I have no trouble watching DVDs. I really don't. I if I get Blu-rays, but right now I watch DVDs. Um, it's I know I should pick up another Blu-ray player. I know they're coming back out on the market. I should do that. I think they're on sale at I think they're now back on sale at Best Buy and then Walmart. No, I have no problem with it. Um, yeah, DVDs are fine. I just hope they release that Shark movie today. I hope they release that on. I hope they release that on physical. Valerie, Water Park Shark. I hope that comes out on. I hope that comes out on physical. That was some shit. Yeah, once in a while, Streamyard will get really spotty. I've but today's actually been pretty good. I haven't had any problems so far. Hey, Paladin. What's going on, Cheetah? You want to come up and say hi? You want to come up and say hi? Maybe, maybe. Okay. Maybe. So I've been feeding him a little bit more wet food lately, after the incident with the veterinarian, and now he's just a wet food whore. Every single day he's begging for it every day. As soon as as soon as he hears the plates, bam, that's it. He's I had to pick up my butter plates, my little like muffin plates or where I had to touch them really real careful because they make any noise at all, well, no matter where he's at in the house, he will come running for that because he thinks he's going to get wet food. Well, buddy, I think he's a little irritated because I ratted him out. Let's see. I probably say they probably did a Rob Zombie. I don't think Rob Zombie is going to be anywhere near Halloween. Hey, there's Steve and Lucas Boy. All right. Our favorite monsoon detector, Lucas Boy. Steve's got a gorgeous black Labrador named Lucas. I call him Lucas Boy after the Rifleman. Chuck Connors played Lucas McCain, and and the sheriff of North Fork used to call him Lucas Boy. So that's where I got calling Steve's dog Lucas Boy. He's a good boy. I think there's a feline. Yes, yes. Pop that top or get the can opener, and suddenly I'm popular. Yeah, I don't get that at all. It is so weird how that works. They know those sounds all the time. He knows the shape, Kelly. I could come out there and show him a can, and he'll know the can that it's the cat food. He knows it. I could get out there and get a tuna can, or I could get a mushroom can. Nothing. What are you doing, Ham? This is my ham right here. This is the ham. Hi, Ham. Hi. Ah! What you nibbling on me for? I'm not a can. I'm not a can. Why you bite me? Why you bite me for? I'm not a can. Am I cat food? Am I cat food to you, mister? Huh? Am I cat food? Ah! Crazy cat. Nibbling at me. Ah! Ah! You get down there, you ham. Yeah, he's a ham. That's a ham for you. Yeah, I gave him canned food yesterday. Yeah, he is definitely. I don't know who's the bigger ham though, Steve. I'm not sure if it's Lucas or Paladin. It might be Paladin only because he's older. Yeah, that's what he's saying too. He wants a little bit of something. And it's 12 o'clock. And we'll go ahead and end it here. But thank you guys for coming out and hanging out with us. It was nice meeting you, Patty Malarkey. Thank you everybody else who came out and hung out with us. Maybe we'll do this tomorrow night too for fun. We'll get out there and get some people out there and push some channels, um, and get some support going for them. If you haven't subbed to anybody here in the chat, please do so. Consider doing so. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow because Michael's not going to be here tomorrow. That's right. Michael, Movies and Beyond. He's not going to be here tomorrow, so I guess I can come in here and try to take some of his filling some of the a hole there. Um, that's right. Yeah, we'll talk to everybody. We'll see how everything's going tomorrow. But thank you again for your support, and we will talk at you soon. Peace.